Imagine this. You're at an air show. The sun is shining. A plane is flying high in the sky. Suddenly it vanishes. You look around confused. Where did it go? Did it disappear into thin air? Of course not. The plane is still there, but your eyes are playing tricks on you. This, my friends, is the power of an optical illusion. Optical illusions remind us that what we see is not always what is real. Our brain can be tricked, and that's what makes them so fascinating. Optical illusions are images or patterns that fool our brains. They make us see things that aren't really there or misinterpret what is. Think of them as brain puzzles that challenge how we perceive the world. Why are we so captivated by optical illusions? Because they're fun. They make us question what we see and force us to look closer. Plus, they reveal the amazing complexity of our brains and how easily our perception can be manipulated. One common type of illusion plays with size and shape. A famous example is the Mueller-Lyer illusion. Two lines are the same length, but because of the arrows on the ends, one looks longer. Another example is the Ponzo illusion. Two objects are the same size, but because of the converging lines around them, one appears larger. Our brain gets tricked by the perspective. These illusions show us that our perception of size and shape is not always accurate. Color and contrast illusions are equally mind-bending. One striking example is the checker shadow illusion. Two squares, one labeled A and the other B, appear to be different shades of gray, but in reality they are exactly the same color. Our brains adjust the perceived color based on the surrounding shadows and lighting, leading to this illusion. Another classic example is the spinning dancer illusion. Does she turn clockwise or counterclockwise? The answer, it depends on your brain's interpretation. These illusions highlight how our brains process color and contrast, and how subjective our perception of these elements can be. Section 5. Impossible objects. Can you trust your eyes? Impossible objects are illusions that depict something that cannot exist in three-dimensional space. The Penrose triangle is a great example. It looks like a triangle, but if you try to trace it, you'll realize it's impossible. Another mind-boggling example is the impossible staircase, where a staircase appears to ascend and descend endlessly. These illusions exploit our brain's tendency to perceive three-dimensional objects, even when they are represented in two dimensions. They remind us that our brains are constantly trying to make sense of the world, even if it means creating something impossible. Ever looked at a static image and seen it moving? That's a motion illusion. These illusions trick our brains into perceiving movement where there is none. They often use contrasting colors and patterns that confuse our visual processing. They demonstrate that our brain's perception of motion is not always based on actual physical movement. So how do optical illusions work? It all comes down to how our brains process visual information. Our eyes send signals to the brain, but the brain doesn't just passively receive this information, it actively interprets it, making assumptions based on our past experiences, knowledge, and expectations. Optical illusions exploit these assumptions. They present information in a way that challenges our brain's usual interpretations, leading to these fascinating visual errors. For example, in the Mueller-Lyer illusion, our brain interprets the outward-pointing arrows as a signal for depth and distance, making the line appear longer. Understanding these underlying mechanisms helps us appreciate the complexity of our visual system. Optical illusions aren't just confined to textbooks and museums. They pop up in our everyday lives, often in unexpected places. Artists use them to create mind-bending artwork. Architects employ them to manipulate space and perception. Even nature itself presents us with natural illusions. Think about camouflage. Animals have evolved remarkable patterns and colors that blend them seamlessly with their surroundings, making them practically invisible to predators or prey. This is nature's way of creating an optical illusion. By understanding how illusions work, we can appreciate their presence and influence in various aspects of our lives. Optical illusions are more than just visual tricks. They are windows into the workings of the human brain. They remind us that our perception is not always an accurate reflection of reality, and that our brains are constantly working to make sense of the world around us. The next time you encounter an optical illusion, don't just be amazed by the illusion itself. Take a moment to appreciate the incredible power and complexity of your own brain.